very central to any person who desires to succeed. Prayerless people find themselves in very difficult positions because perhaps I should refer you to Romans 1 verse 21 that says, "For although they knew God, they neither glorified him as God, nor gave him thanks, nor give thanks to him, but their thinking became futile and their foolish hearts were darkened." Giving thanks to God is so central and so critical to humanity because it's an expression of man's dependence and appreciation of this God who has created him. And I was so excited when I saw the presentations that were here from our Christian faith and more of the Muslim faith. I think one of the things that you find difficult is men to be synchronized and to really dance. You have really danced well. Worshiping God and that harmony. I'm sure even when he was seated there, he was smiling, knowing that men are the heads and the priests, and being able to stand and worship without shame. It was a great thing, I can tell you. One of these days you can invite me, I can come and experience it again. Let us embrace this day with open hearts and minds across all religions and denominations. Mr. Chancellor, sir, distinguished guests and dear students, I acknowledge that this has been a difficult season for Kenyatta University and Kenya on matters accident. From January 2024 to 10th April 2024, we had 1,313 fatalities and 3,619 people seriously injured. This is something that is most unfortunate, and I think it is time that Kenyans took seriously how we drive on our roads. These accidents, as it is, on this day we are commemorating 11 students from this university who fell and now are with the Lord. These are not just mere numbers I've spoken about. These are our brothers and they are our sisters. My heart goes to the families, the friends, and the entire university community. We have lost and lost very big. Those students who came here, their parents, their families, their neighbors, the community, the lecturers, and the staff who have been serving them were looking to a time when we will go to the graduation square and we will be able to give them the power to read and do what appertains to that degree. The parents were waiting for them so that they can go and take up the families, the family businesses, come and help them, but they have received caskets. And this is sad. As a mother, I feel very sad. And that's why you have seen I've been going around speaking to the young people concerning this illicit brew, alcohol and drug abuse. Many of our drivers, and I'm not saying that this particular one was not sober, but when you drink, you endanger the other motorists. You could be sober and I could be the one who is intoxicated, but we are driving on the same highway. We are driving on the same road. So as you endanger your own life, you are also endangering mine. And I think it is time we have a conversation concerning this matter, because we do not want to lose any more lives. 11 is enough. And I would like us to just stand for a moment of silence to the tribute of our fallen sons and daughters. Thank you very much. Romans 8:37 says, "No, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us." And you may be asking yourself, what are all these things? And I can tell you, in all these things, we are talking about the trouble, we are talking about stresses, we are talking about depression, hardship, academic pressures, family and peer pressure, persecution, famine, nakedness, danger, and so on. And even death, we have just talked about 11 who have left us. And I want to remind you as I stand here, and those who had friends and colleagues that died, God will comfort you. Many of you, maybe it was your confidant, and today as you are preparing for your exam, that is a person you would have gone to look up to. And maybe they are the people that you used to call, but today when you tried to call, you found they are not there. And this is how life is. I must tell you, young people, as you stay in this university, all those things we are talking about, in all these things, you can be more than conquerors if you keep the right company. You can be more than conqueror if you have faith in this God. You can be more than conquerors if you have faith and anchor everything in God. Many of us do not know. Maybe when you live here, because time is in God's hand. Destinies are in God's hands. And many of us, when we are young, we never think that it will happen to us, but it happens to all. We have been given the chance and the opportunity to be in one of the greatest institutions. And I can tell you, when I was here, just like you, and maybe those of us who have been listening to my testimony, I almost committed suicide when I was in this institution. And I was not committing suicide because the Riggy who had jilted me. And I don't think that is a reason why anybody would commit suicide. I always tell the men, if a girl leaves you, just go around. There are very many trees here, and I can see a yellow one just in front of me. Pick the flowers and give her and say, good riddance. Another good one is coming. It is the same with a girl. If one of my boys drops you, do not take a rope and go and hang yourself. For what? Send him flowers and a good card and tell them, you are not good for me. I will find another one. So it was not that which was making me want to commit suicide. We were being given the boom and the allowances. That time, our vice chancellor and chancellor and our CS, the allowances were good. The hostel accommodation here was good. The food was good. And actually, we could spare some money. And so I took some of the money which I had received and went and bought my mom, whom I loved, a gas cooker, a wardrobe, a sofa, and moved her from Kiandutu, where we used to stay in the ghetto, to Thika town, And I was very happy to see my mom happy after she had given and sacrificed so much as a widow to bring us up. Just a month later, somebody comes to inform me that the gas I had bought for my mom had exploded and some neighbors were hurt and one died. And people are blaming my mom for that incident. And when I went home and I saw my mom in tears, I wanted to die. Fortunately that day, I had a good friend. She was called, I think she's late, Nkirote Sarah. She came and told me, there is somewhere people are going. I was ready to do it. And I was in my room in Rwenzori here. And when she called me, we were going to the State House that time. The students used to go there. And we were going to Cabernet Gardens. Those ones of us who knew that time. We used to go there and we used to like it because we would be given good food, and sometimes we would carry even the spoons from there to show that, with emblem, so that you can show you had been there. And so when they told me, many people thought I was going to the Cabernet Garden for a different reason. But mine was a different purpose. When she told me that, it occurred to me, if I went there, I could get a chance of doing what I wanted to do quicker, and I didn't need to do it myself. And so I got into the grounds here, and the person who had come from the bus, it was from Nairobi University, the person who was the chair of Nyeri District Union was none other than the Riggy. Mungu ni wa maajabu. So I come and I see this man, he was taking people's name and he's writing. And I thought he was interesting. He was wearing a brown suit. That was in June 1987. So, and a checked brown tie. I didn't pay him attention, but I thought he was interesting. So, young men always dress very well. You see, I can remember the suit. And that's where I got this wonderful man of mine. But when we went to the mission, I went there and I waited, he talked. And when they invited the president to come and talk, I knew my chance had come. I ran directly in line with him so that somebody could shoot me. That was my mission. But unfortunately for me, he saw me and started coming in line. And I went, hit him. And I thought, is this heaven? And then I saw I was still here. And the rest is history. I am here and I have a husband. Because this man, when he saw that, he thought I was very courageous. So an act of cowardice generated something different, another view from someone. But so I'm saying all this to tell you, in all these things, we are more than, if only we are in God, if only we know God, if only we depend on God.